So a question to you, all people. So did you notice the use of the word encoding and decoding time and again? So another question to you is the interpreting. Because the one simple question I want to ask you, have you ever asked 2 or 3 different colleagues inside your design, manufacturing or inspection team and you have shown a GD&T callout? GD&T callout is basically wherever GD&T is used in your drawing and got 2 to 3 different interpretation. How can that be? But really we used to have this. So 3 different people, they interpret in 3 different ways. That is the misunderstanding, and that is the way where the GD&T is used in an interpreting way. That means that is not mathematical, right? 2 plus 2 equal to 4 and sometimes 2 plus 2 equal to 4.1. That cannot be like that. So during this process today, we are going to reveal that how this can. I will give you the right example also today. This is not a demo or kind of thing. Here you will feel everything what I am showing you, what I am discussing. So surely if GD&T is used to decorate or paint your drawing for later interpretation, then of course don't use GD&T. It is useless. So we are here to explain you about the GD&T that is not only must but absolutely can be encoded and decoded. That means I guarantee you that we only use encoded and decoded, we don't interpret. And if it is, then it will deliver with greater benefit. That is no doubt about it. So we understood about the GD&T, the first scenario and different myths, misconception and what need to be done. But primarily the point here is what is the logic of GD&T. Then we'll move to other topics like the necessity of GD&T and the GD&T encoding process, decoding process, and so on. So let us talk about the logic of GD&T. If you talk about the logic, there you have different set of instruction like a concept, different tools you will be using. Tools are basically symbols like a positioning tolerance, a perpendicularity, straightness, flatness, and cylindricity, and over the point how to define your features, and rules. Rules are very important. In GD&T you have primarily 3 rules. Rule number 1, 2, 3, and you have a process to interpret it and best practice. And once you talk about all these 5 different sets, then you are done. So let us talk about the concepts and tools. Then a little bit we'll brush up about rules and process and other parts. And also we'll touch on this 3 point. Touch means basically I'll just talk about the rules also. So first of all, the perfect imaginary world of GD&T. Just you conceive in your mind that I'm talking about the imaginary world of GD&T. That means in your mathematics, you can completely interpret the probable scenario, what could happen in your manufacturing. But this is not probability. This I'm talking about guarantee. So we can guarantee mathematically the occurrence inside your inspection and manufacturing through your design team's intervention through the imaginary mathematical world of GD&T. So the best 3 worlds, so what are those? If you talk about a tolerance zone, that means different kind of objects you manufacture. So primarily you can have a thickness kind of thing where you have a thickness or width. You have a cylindrical thin object or a solid cylindrical object where you have a variation. Here you can see the diameter will get varied, and here the thickness will get varied, and here also the flat slab's thickness also will get varied. So tube-like, cylindrical, and slab-like. So 3 different imaginary worlds GD&T uses this kind of different interpretation. And tolerance values, if you see the size of the tolerance zone, in case of your wall thickness or tube-like, this thickness will get varied. As well, from the axis, the diameter across the different point also will get varied as well, the thickness. Just like here, the flatness, the straightness, and the width, they will get varied based on the different manufacturing process. And in case of cylindrical features, from the center, the solid diameter also will get varied, and you can have a taper or you can have a curved scenario which can also occur. And next is the datum. Datum is basically the perfect imaginary reference point. If you manufacture this cannot be perfect, but wherever you inspect this, that you assume that as if that is a perfect reference plane. So with respect to that, your inspection gauging tool, you create your CAD model. CAD model, you get completely perfect flat. Your inspection toolkit or inspection set also, they seems like perfect, but after manufacturing the real part, we are never getting like the datums. So datums are the way where we say that our parts are approaching towards your perfect by referring your gauging instrument. So that is this point. So you could gauge a point, a line, a plane, point with a line, a plane over the edge, point, line and plane. So different interpretation of the object. If you talk about this corner, here edge, point, surface, all interpretations are there. So we're talking about this. If you only talk about a point, that is about a sphere, where how can you gauge a sphere? Where is the imaginary point? That is a center point. So different ways we devise, but a single rule we use. And coordinate system is from where our 0, 0 reference is. And that is the vital and important part. And if you talk about the basic dimension, inside your drawing, this basic dimension never changes. You cannot apply tolerance to a basic dimension. I will discuss just in a minute. So if you see this particular cylinder's location, maybe from some other part at a particular location in X direction and Y direction, and you can see the location is absolute, so that other pin or hole will get assembled to this. So you cannot have a, the tolerance to this. So this is a basic dimension, but you can have different other control. So how to deviate from the standard to the non-standard, but still that is not getting rejected, that is the part of GD&T. So what are the different rules that I will show you. And finally, a symbolic language, that means all the controls, tools where you drive inside your imaginary world of GD&T, but that always cater to your real world.